Welcome to this video on mandatory reporting. We will cover what you need to know about your responsibilities as a mandated reporter. We will explore what it means to be a mandated reporter, the purpose of these laws, who must report, and the legal protections offered to those who report suspected abuse or neglect. Mandatory reporting laws exist to allow for early intervention and stop ongoing harm. They also aim to prevent future abuse and protect reporters from legal repercussions. The Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act of 1974 was the first federal legislation addressing child abuse and neglect in the U.S. It established the National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect and provided grants to states for prevention programs.
In 1962, Dr. Henry Kempe and others wrote an article for the Journal of American Medicine titled "The Battered Child Syndrome," which outlined their experiences in treating children who were victims of child abuse. In the article, the authors advocated that physicians have a duty and responsibility to the child to require a full evaluation of the problem and to guarantee that no expected repetition of trauma will be permitted to occur. This publication brought the issue of child abuse to the nation's awareness, and by the late 1960s, most states had passed laws requiring that certain groups of people, mainly those who worked with children, were mandated to report suspected child abuse and neglect to either Child Protective Services or law enforcement. In 1973, the passage of the Federal Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, the law became effective in 1974, required states to have mandatory reporting laws in order to receive federal funding for their child protection agencies. States without mandatory reporting laws, among other requirements, would be responsible for covering the entire costs of their child protection services through their state budgets. Currently, all states, the District of Columbia, American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands have statutes identifying persons who are required to report suspected child maltreatment to an appropriate agency, such as Child Protective Services, a law enforcement agency, or a state's toll-free child abuse reporting hotline. Since its implementation in 1974, the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act of 1974, commonly known as CAPTA, has been amended numerous times to include further provisions for the prevention and treatment of child abuse and neglect. However, its initial requirements for mandatory reporting, confidentiality to protect the privacy of children and families, coordination of investigations, and data reporting to the federal government have remained in effect. If you would like more information about CAPTA and its various amendments, the Child Abuse Committee and Treatment Act, 40 Years of Safeguarding America's Children, by the Office on Child Abuse and Neglect, provides a comprehensive review of this legislation and its impact.
Your role matters. Mandatory reporting laws were developed to allow for professional intervention and stop any possible abuse or neglect as soon as possible. Early reporting protects children and prevents further harm.